Hey there, welcome to Finding Fabulous, where this next chapter is about discovering what truly lights you up. I'm Meghan.
I'm Kristin. Through the stories we share and the incredible women we meet, we talk about life pivots, next chapters, and that moment when you feel your spark again.
Let's find our mojo and light it up. Hello, and welcome to Finding Fabulous. So today, it is just Kristin and I, and it hasn't just been the two of us without a guest in a while. In quite a long time. And we talk a lot about reinvention. We talk about finding the joy in life. We talk about comebacks. We interview women who have found their fabulous. And so today we are going to talk about coming back from a pretty severe medical trauma that Kristin experienced and really her reinvention, comeback.
Oh, sounds good.
And everything that goes with that. So Kristin, just to give everybody a little bit of an idea, is Kristin lost her leg in a medical trauma. So we are just going to start, I guess, at the very beginning and move through. So
I mean, this is interesting too, because I've had many conversations since with family and friends. What do we call this? Do we call this an accident? Not really. An injury? No. Well, yes, but no. So we kind of call it an incident because it's a little bit of a story leading up to what happened.
Yes, I would say it's a pretty big story, and it's quite fascinating. So I think that everything began, which always blows my mind, on Friday the 13th.
Yes, you remember it well. Friday the 13th of September 2013. Right?
Wow.
Yeah. So at the beginning is just, I think, a common theme for a lot of people. I mean, it's September's what? Re-entry from summer vacations. If you work, it's getting back into that. It's back to school. And it was just one of those weeks. I mean, it was a crazy work week coupled with balancing all those back to school schedules. I have 4 kids and they were ages 2nd grade to 10th grade. So that's 3 schools.
3 schools. That is about as chaotic and crazy
as it gets. And I know, again, there's a lot of listeners that can relate. So it's one of those weeks, right? And then also I think I had a makeup tennis session that morning and then crammed in the event planning for work that was coming up. And then, of course, a back to school picnic, because there's always one of those thrown in just when you're busy.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
I think also it's fair to say that Wednesday, my former husband and I, Corby, had filed for divorce with the state of Connecticut.
So that was 2 days before. That was the 11th, right before the 13th.
Right. That's right. So let's just add another errand.
Right, because that's a stressful, big decision.
I think like with anyone, and we've talked to some guests about this, it's a long time coming sometimes. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's interesting. Well, another debate for another time, but is it better to have time to prepare for things that are big changes? Or do we react just as well when it's thrown in our face and we just don't have all that time to think about the choice?
True.
But everything becomes a choice, doesn't it? We did make that decision. And so by Friday, I was ready for a little break, squeezed in one more errand on the way to see my friend at a local restaurant and couldn't wait to get there. You just need your female friendships.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Oh my gosh. Female friendships are the best. You probably just needed a drink, a long conversation.
That's right. A little summer food still, keep the season going. So rushed into the restaurant, rushed past our hostess there. Everybody was at happy hour. I mean, everybody had the same idea, right?
Good vibes.
Take a little load off, good vibes. And I made my way through. Now, this particular restaurant had a very crowded, kind of tiny bar space.
Okay.
So I made my way through there and I was wearing these chunky kind of summer boots, chunky heeled summer boots. And I remember as I was twisting and turning through the bar and past the guys and bar stools and all that, that I did roll my ankle very quickly off of my boot, but not anything that would stop you in your tracks.
Okay.
I don't even know. Maybe it was an ouch. It definitely wasn't an F-U.
Okay.
It was just maybe an ouch.
Okay.
So then I see my friend, I rush over to the table and we just have a great night. It's like just what I needed. We saw other friends. The vibes were going, as you said. And a couple hours later, somebody suggests, let's keep this going. Like, anybody want to go out dancing, which I think is quite unusual at our age at that time. But
where would you have gone dancing?
That's right. Where would we have gone? That's a good question. All I knew is I wasn't going to go.
Right. And is that because your ankle started at this point to kind of throb or hurt a little bit?
That's exactly it. I mean, I would say that prior to that, I wouldn't have thought anything of that twist or roll off of the ankle, but it was uncomfortable. I said to my friend, I was spending the night at her house, which was close to the restaurant. And I said to her, do you mind if I just go home? Or if she's like, well, we'll just go and hang out. So we did. I feel better elevating it. I go upstairs. I wake up in the morning and I'm in pain.
And what was your pain level, let's say from 0 to 10?
Let's call it a 3, maybe. Enough to pay attention that probably there was a slight injury, but nothing major. I mean, I thought maybe even just a bruise or who knows. So I went off and I went home, and my neighbor ended up taking me to one of the doctor offices that we were having Saturday morning hours. And I was excited because I did happen to know the office from some different professional engagements. So I went and I got a diagnosis of 2nd-degree sprain, torn tendon, ice and elevate.
And no fracture, no break?
Nope. X-rays taken. Everything appeared anyway to be fine in that department. Head home and just spend the weekend following the doctor's orders, so to speak, right? By the end of the weekend, I'll never forget the America's Cup was on TV on Sunday, and I love sailing. I couldn't even pay attention. And I even had a friend out there, and I couldn't pay attention because I just was really starting to feel pain that just seemed unusual. For a simple sprain. I've had a sprain before. The kids have had sprains before.
Sure,
it's just not usually that serious of a circumstance in terms of pain. So fast forward, by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm getting additional attention from the doctor's office. I'm getting pain meds. I'm getting additional conversation. I go in for another visit. Things are starting, in my mind, to change quickly, not just pain, but also visual appearance. So I always say, shout out to pay attention to your body, right?
And how was it changing? Was it just going from black and blue to a darker color?
Yes.
Because a sprain can look quite black and blue and then it turns yellow.
That's right. And what I would say is that there's this idea of blood pooling under your skin, right? And changing colors, right? It can look, like you just said, the rainbow of colors. This appeared in my mind to be on top of the skin. It appeared to be a different kind of texture. And also, in my eyes, it appeared to be approaching black. And I don't remember exactly what day, and that's not important. It's just over the course of the week, it was dramatically changing. And by that Thursday, my poor kid, Carrie, my oldest, she had a big test that Thursday. So I should say by Wednesday night, I was in such pain after my second doctor's visit that she ended up spending time the whole night, actually, in the family room with me. And I was just uncomfortable the entire night. She never got sleep. So it was poor thing with this test the next day, but she really watched out for me. Super sweet. By the next morning, I was like, I said to my then husband, I said,
and this is Friday now, so it's been 1 week.
Thursday.
So
this is Thursday. So I said to him, there's something going on. My body felt like it was paralyzing. I felt like I was almost like suffocating inside. And I said,
So when did it start going from just the ankle pain to more of your entire body?
I would say by the time I woke up that Thursday morning. And when I say woke up, I really did have a sleepless night. But at some point, I probably, in exhaustion, fell asleep a little bit. And I just remember waking up to this incredible discomfort and pain and really just worry. Like,
that's scary.
There's something
really
here.
wrong.
100%. So I need to go to the hospital. I said to him, he said, okay, I'll get the truck ready. I'm like, no, you need to call like
an ambulance.
So the ambulance squad in our town is people we know. And they came over, and I have to just give a shout out to that Post 53 in Darien, Connecticut. I mean, they like right away, blood pressure, the whole thing, got me in the vehicle. They kept me awake and annoyingly having conversation with them when all I wanted to do was go to sleep.
Yeah.
So we get to the hospital, and then I just describe it. I think you and I have talked about this before. It almost just seemed like Grey's Anatomy. Like, my friend was there meeting me.
Was McDreamy or McSteamy there?
Exactly. Like the doctors. Everybody seemed so helpful.
Meredith Grey.
That's right. Bustling around like no big deal. I'm like, this is great. I'm fine. I'm in good hands.
Right.
And so that's all I remember from that. I knew that I was going into surgery, and I That was it. Went to sleep.
Okay.
Okay. So now just to give you a timeline, this is Thursday. And
so that's crazy because that's less than a week.
That's less than a week.
From when you rolled your ankle.
That's right. So now keep in mind, I'm asleep. Now my family and friends are dealing with the rest of it. And we just joke, I slept through the darn thing. So,
but wait, is this a good time to maybe explain what was going on with your foot?
I think it's a great time to explain. Yes.
Just so that the audience can understand it wasn't in fact a sprain, it was
something more. So as I'm sure people are guessing, it was infected. And once I was in infectious disease there at the hospital, they'd run all the tests. They put you on as many antibiotics as are available. It was a strep A bacteria that essentially had taken over and was festering into necrotizing fasciitis, which is the flesh-eating disease, as named by, I guess, the media. And what that does is it literally does destroy your flesh, your fascia. And according to the doctors, and this gets to the first surgery, without getting too graphic, they do expose that infected area. And they can literally see that infection traveling up your, well, in my case, leg. It travels that quickly, according to the experts.
And at this point, is that infection considered sepsis?
Well, so again, my apologies for anything I'm misrepresenting, but my understanding is sepsis is yet a different level of infection.
Okay.
I mean, I've heard it described again, but in lay terms as an infection of your bloodstream, or it's really when it takes over to the point of your body responding by shutting down, right?
Okay.
Because as I understand it, your body wants to conserve its energy to fight this
raging infection.
Mm-hmm. Raging is a great word. Yeah. So like my organs all shut down, for example, right? And eventually my heart stopped twice. So many people do not survive sepsis.
Yes. I mean, you hear the word sepsis and it is a terrifying word because of that statistic.
It's 100%.
The majority of people I don't think survive. I don't know what the numbers are. And I'm sure it depends when you get to the hospital, but it's a very scary infection.
Yeah, certainly.
And was there any reason for the infection? Do you think you had a cut on your ankle?
That's such a good question. I was wearing, as I said, a chunky heeled boot. It did have it was summer still, so it was leather, but a little bit of like slatted leather, like so textured. So perhaps when I rolled it, there was a slight cut. I mean, it's microscopic, right?
Yeah.
Or did it split open during swelling at some point or another? I mean, the only thing I did hear is that in order for a strep A bacteria to take hold like that, there needs to be a point of entry, which is why the cut conversation is important, and also a trigger point. It needs to be able to fester.
Yes.
Right. So a sprain or a torn tendon would be a very vulnerable place for it to be able to take hold. Now, of course, there's other factors like time and allowing it to continue on.
Well, yeah, but you were being told it's just a sprain. So
that's right.
In that respect, it wasn't being treated as early as technically it could or should have.
Correct.
But that's part of the confusion with the sprain and the swelling of a sprain and the change of color and all of that.
That's right. That's right. So back to the sepsis. I mean, my poor mother heard the news that by the time everybody responded very quickly, and friends and family. I mean, it's unimaginable how quickly everybody got there, including my mother down up to Connecticut from New Jersey. But by the time she was hearing what was going on, they knew it was sepsis. And
so how long did they leave your leg open?
Right. So I understand they basically say 3 surgeries. The first is the debridement, I believe it's called, where they open it up to see what's going on. They try to clean it out. They try to physically get rid of the infection. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, there's the talk of if that doesn't hold, if that's not successful, so to speak, then there's talk of, well, we might need to actually remove the bone, not just the flesh, right? And so I believe that conversation started with, we're going to take her foot, which is devastating, right? Mm-hmm. And now we have to go higher, which is really devastating. And then the conversation continues and it's just not good news. So my mother had just had a friend pass, as to your point, from sepsis. So when she heard that, poor thing, just was in a state of mind that no mother wants to be in.
No.
And I have brothers and sisters. Everybody came. People came from a distance. Got my mother there that evening. My sister was there, both sisters. And I think it was a really treacherous night. And by Friday morning, they knew that they had to go pretty high up for this amputation. And my then husband had my mother sign off. Can you imagine, as a mother? And she signed off on this amputation. And she said, okay, well, so we take her leg, fine, we can heal we got this, but this is going to save her life, right? And no, I mean, we're looking at 50-50 at best here. It's just our only choice.
I mean, that is I'm getting emotional. I can't even imagine as a mom having to just watch your daughter go through that.
That's right.
Well, and then also you were out of it because you were sleeping,
yes.
But you were going to have to wake up to, I mean, it's amputated very high. So you really lost your entire leg.
Yeah. And they did that to get rid of every last cell of infection.
Well, and thank God they did.
So that was really an important thing to do. So this is all in ICU, and they know that the operation is going to happen on Friday. And so that morning, the kids came to ICU before the operation to, wish you luck, say goodbye. And I, again, can't imagine how that was for...
I can't even imagine.
My husband at the time, their father and their grandmother and aunts and uncles, and everyone.
And you're sleeping through this.
And I'm sleeping through this, exactly. And I don't think I look like myself. I mean, I've seen pictures. So,
how did you not
young
look
kids,
like yourself?
Swollen beyond, because of the fluids.
Is that what happens to protect?
I guess so. I mean, I think that's all the fluids that the medical team administers.
Right.
But just when you're hooked up to everything, I mean, we've all seen it.
It's so scary, especially for children, for adults as well.
Right. That's right. So again, second grade, we're talking 6 years old up till 10th grade. So then I slept, and I apparently slept for, I guess about, and when I say slept, medically induced coma, for about 4 days before I started really waking up. And during that time, I was only aware of two things. And one we shared before in our podcast, which was a crossing over episode.
Oh my gosh. Any of our listeners, when her heart stopped on the table twice, she had this amazing crossing over story, and she describes it so beautifully with like a European bistro, but definitely listen because it'll be a good add-on to the sequence of this story.
Yeah. No, so that was a really remarkable experience, and just realizing how special it is to have people there trying to pull you through.
Well, yeah, I mean...
And I really think when I came out of that experience, and just to see my kids' faces, and by the way, to clarify, they were not standing before me. It was just their faces in my mind that pulled me out of that experience, which was a beautiful experience that no one
you didn't want to come out. You didn't want to come back.
No.
It was that beautiful.
So or the thought, memory, whatever of the vision.
Well, yeah, and seeing your children, having your children flash in front of you, first, oldest, second, third, fourth, pulling you out. You weren't ready to go. They weren't ready to let you go. Your time wasn't up. However you say it.
That's right. You have to be there for those who depend on you, right?
Right.
And just also, I do love that feeling of when I woke up, just automatically, none of it was painful, but somehow just knowing that there was pain and that I was so grateful it was mine and not theirs. It's just the power of being a parent. Right?
Being a parent and being a really good mother.
Well, yes, thank you. So, and then the second experience I had was when my pastor came. And did we talk about that before, Meghan?
I don't think so. Or if we did, you can just reiterate it.
I mean, it was just special. It was just a special exchange. So this all happened. So the amputation happened on a Friday. So by Saturday, my community had gathered at one of our local churches and filled the chapel and just sent vibes and prayers and all the good things. And my pastor, who was also a friend, came over after, and everybody was post-surgery. Oh, she's not going to wake up for a couple of days. We're prepared for when she does to have this conversation to let me know, of course, what has happened. And my pastor had agreed to be part of that. But again, figuring it was down the road where the surgeon and my former husband and my mother and my pastor would gather and all together tell me. And so how surprised was she when she came Saturday morning and I woke up, or for a brief moment, opened my eyes anyway. Because I always say, like, if you hear your pastor's voice, it's like, okay, what what world am I in right now? Why is my pastor in my bedroom when I'm just trying to get some rest?
Right.
So I opened my eyes. It took every bit of strength I had for about 10 seconds, looked into her eyes. I think it was an amazing exchange, as it's told to me, for both of us. And she just said, do you remember a recent conversation we had about grace? I need you to hold on to that right now.
Wow.
Just keep that with you. And I want you to know that your friends and your family, we all gathered and we just said prayers and sent good vibes for your grace. And so I need you to know that. And I was like,
wow.
I don't think I said anything. And back to sleep I went. And so then it was over the course of the next few days. It really is like the TV shows. I mean, how many fingers am I holding up? What day of the week is it? I don't know. Is it Sunday, Monday, Tuesday? I can't remember.
Well, yeah, it's all a blur. You've been asleep. You've been in a coma. Now you're awake.
Yes, exactly. And so then I did start to wake enough to be like, where am I? Oh, I'm in a hospital room. Why am I here? Right? On meds. I mean, blankets everywhere. Had no idea what my body had been through or what was the current status. I just figured I still had a sprain. So I'm starting to ask people, why am I here? What's going on? And one by one, they're just not able to have the conversation. They wanted to have it as a group.
Well, I understand that. I mean, what a hard conversation to have for your sister, for your mother, to actually say they had to amputate your leg. So on a level, I can understand that.
But please understand this too, as I'm waking up, how frustrating
oh my gosh,
I'm finally getting my voice. I mean, it's just like,
you're like, somebody tell me what is going on and why I'm here.
I finally can speak English again. I know what day it is. No, like my mama would be like, you're just tired. I'm like, I have slept for days. Like, I'm not tired. Like, I want to talk.
She's like, I'm just going to go get you some ice chips and a little seltzer water.
You must be cold. No, I'm not cold. Why is no one understanding what's going on here? So anyway, finally, my former husband was in the room. And I know I talked about this before in the other episode, but he was the one to tell me. And
which was very kind. It was just very kind of him. Just say it like it was.
Yeah.
And what was your response to that?
Well, it was just like, he said it so matter-of-factly in terms of just ankle was too bad to heal and it made you sick. And unfortunately, we had to take your leg to save your life. And I just remember being like, oh my gosh, thank you. Like, thank you for finally telling me, because you don't really want to be in the dark, right? I mean, that's a good lesson.
Yes, absolutely.
Even if the truth is hard, you need it.
You do.
Eventually. I mean, everybody's different. And we always say that, right? Post-trauma, there's a whole path. It's sideways and sometimes linear and sometimes upside down. And we've talked about the stages of grief, but then again, how to deal with it on a positive level. But everybody's different and every timeline's different in how you're going to respond, right?
Yes.
So it was at that point I realized this was going to be a little bit of a journey. But again, with friends and family around you doing everything for me, the medical staff being so professional and caring, I'm still in ICU.
How long were you in ICU?
I believe a total of a week. And then I was moved to the recovery floor.
And then how long were you there for?
And then I was there another week.
Which just seems like such a short amount of time for something so major.
Trust me, it did to me too. I mean, every time I moved a floor, or then, gosh forbid, little did I know I was going to be moving hospitals, it seemed like I was saying goodbye to friends. Believe it or not, in that short period of time, I mean, especially when you're so vulnerable.
Well, so vulnerable and so dependent. Yeah.
It's really like a fast forward on acclimating and calling something home. I mean, the only person I ever even remember being annoyed with was the one nurse who wouldn't give me ice chips in ICU after my surgeries. But I mean, I guess she was under dictate not to.
Yes.
So I can't believe all the experiences that one can have in that situation. I mean, I will tell you the conversations. I had a dear friend who wouldn't leave me before midnight every night. And I was telling her how I had felt a presence of someone sitting there in the chair. I was convinced I had a visitor earlier in the day, and no, in fact, no one was there. And It just was, and it was a repeat too. Like the next night it happened again. Yes.
And who do you think the visitor was?
I mean, she asked the same thing. Do you think it was your dad? I was like, no, because this person was like, you got this. And I was like, yeah, right. How do you know I've got this? And my dad would never speak in that kind of slang.
Okay.
So I felt like it had to be it felt like a male presence, which was an interesting coincidence into something that had happened while I was in my coma. And we had lost a dear friend, and he was male. And so, of course, that just felt very surreal. So in ICU, you're kind of in a protected environment, right? I mean, family are allowed in, but once you get to a recovery floor, it's more visitors are encouraged at that point. And I was seeing my kids for the first time, or that I was aware of, and to see their faces was just, to see them so happy and relieved, although they were different ages. And so the experience was different for each of them. I had my youngest definitely was fearful of what she would see. Her world had been turned upside down. She didn't understand it. My son as well. They were 2nd and 4th grade. So I was
Did they not want to come up to the bed? Were they a little nervous?
A little hesitant, and seemed relieved, but confused.
Sure, yeah.
Right? And then just all of the outside world coming in. So grateful for all the conversations, so grateful for all the help, and everybody just giving something that meant something to them. Everybody, there's different things that are important to different people, right? When there's a recovery, and everybody just giving to me really from their heart, and so generous. And that was really surreal too, because I felt so protected for that reason. And then when my brothers went to leave and take their flights out, I was strolled outside on a wheelchair for the first time. And it was a beautiful September day. It was sunny, and I did not want to be there. The wheelchair was uncomfortable. Every bounce of it hurt me. And that's really the first time I remember realizing what pain I was going to be in from this wound, and saying goodbye to them, and just really being in the outside world. It was hard. It was hard to be out of the hospital and facing the idea that, oh my gosh, this is a world I have to re-enter. And what's that going to look like?
Oh, yeah, I bet.
So before I left the recovery floor and saying goodbye yet again to these wonderful nurses, right? PT had started. And anybody who has had PT from any kind of injury at all knows that
it's hard. It's hard. Tough. And it's no fun.
No. And when you enter their room or they enter your space, you really don't want to see them.
Nope.
They're there for good, but every time I would see one of them, no offense, guys, I really don't want you here, right? Because every turn of my body, every step.
Were you ever in excruciating pain?
Yes.
Or did 100%. They do a good job of managing that? Because I just can't even imagine having a limb amputated and what the residual effects would be. So the pain was excruciating.
So it was. It was managed, but it was there. And the discomfort was there. And the fear of rolling over, or the apprehension of, oh, now we're going to move from the bed to this chair, which is right here within feet. No, we're not. I would say to them, I don't think so. Maybe you are. I'm not. But I do remember thinking, wow, forget walking. Forget anything I'd done before, dance, tennis, running, all that. Am I even going to be able to move? Am I going to be able to sit up?
Yeah. Sure, you had to relearn so much.
Relearn, but also I think that because I was recovering from sepsis, my body had to get a lot of strength back. So it was really a whole body experience. Everything was weak.
Okay, that makes sense.
And anytime they say each day you lay in a hospital, right? Again, I don't know the stats, but there's
no, it's true. You just atrophy. You atrophy very quickly because you don't even realize even if you don't technically exercise in a day, you're moving around. Just the amount of
movement.
Use, right? Movement itself. So to just be sitting there, I have heard that you just atrophy.
Which is
really
why
quickly.
Those darn PT people and OT people
they
are so important.
They got to get you in that chair, girl.
Oh my gosh. So then the conversation became what's next. And I guess that's when I really did realize, whoa, okay, and I'm going to be into some serious OT and PT. What I didn't really, I knew we were deciding where I was going to go, and we landed on Gaylord Hospital, which was some distance away. And I thought there would be more of a challenge for friends and family to get to me, and my kids in particular. But I also knew the reputation. And I knew that it would be difficult because they were going to make things happen. And they sure did. So again, moving there, getting ready to leave, say goodbye, getting all my stuff together, getting transported in the ambulance, all uncomfortable, all scary.
Was it emotional leaving the hospital?
It was. Yeah, it was.
Because it was your safe space.
It was my safe space. And so I arrived there, and it's so interesting because I arrived there and one of my work colleagues is there to greet me because she lived nearby, which was wonderful. And everybody there they're so well trained to welcome you in and do everything they can. But I really did feel alone when I first was there. Then it started becoming like a dorm room. One by one, my sister or my friend would show up and they'd bring pictures or they'd bring plants. And so little by little, it started to feel like home. And it was amazing how quickly I acclimated because that's how it is. That's what they do, the whole team, right? I mean, you've got all kinds of support until they push you too hard. Again, it's like, okay, great. You've welcomed me into this. Like, now it feels like a hotel. I feel like I'm getting decent food. I'm getting like Reiki. I'm getting all these things. Oh, and now I have this schedule, almost like, again, at college, it's like, and you're going to have OT at this time and PT tomorrow at this time. And it became this rigorous schedule, at least in my mind. What was it? 2 sessions a day. But in my mind, it seemed an impossible hill to climb. And so I just love some of the stories because I think about the first time I went into OT and she's like, oh, so what's your favorite meal? And I'm like, oh, I think she's being so nice. What, like they're going to bring me my favorite meal? And I was like, well, I don't know. You mean to go out and eat, to make it home, to just like, what do you like to cook? If you like it, what would just sound really good right now? And I was like, oh, I don't know, like a big plate of spaghetti. I mean, I'd lost a lot of weight. I was hungry at this point.
I bet.
I'm like a big plate of spaghetti and meatballs. And she goes, okay, good. Well, tell me about those ingredients. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, it's like, I like the angel hair pasta. I like this in my meatballs and I like these spices on it. She's like, okay, we'll have that all here for you tomorrow and you'll be able to prepare your first spaghetti meal back from your recovery. And I was like, no, wait, I can barely sit up in bed. I can barely get into this wheelchair to go to OT. You're telling me you want me to stand at a stove and cook pasta? And sure enough, they made me.
Really?
And sure enough.
That's actually really cool.
It was so cool. It was so cool because, I mean, it wasn't the next day, but it was by like, I'm not going to say the right thing, but it's 4th day, maybe 5th day. But at that point, day by day, you're getting strength back in your hands. I mean, your hands aren't working at first. I didn't have any strength. How was I going to lift a pot of water? And sure enough, by day 4 or 5, I was.
That's amazing.
So I think that it's like anything. We talk about this even with just little traumas, right? If you're starting a new job in midlife or a new relationship, just step by step, because each step encourages you to the next one.
Yes,
and you've got to revel in that moment and understand your success and not whiz past it.
Right. That's and
your
it
fuel.
Is steps because you weren't going to leap anywhere. You had to take all those steps to get to where you needed to be. Was there any depression or sadness or...
Such a great question.
Do you take medication? I mean, I just can't imagine. I mean, you are a ray of sunshine. I've said this many a time, and you do have a super positive attitude, but was there never that genuine just feeling?
I think that I was in that phase of being a little bit numb or a lot numb. And I will say part of any holistic care is the mental. And they brought in a psychiatrist. I won't remember exactly how often, but it was certainly a couple times a week, if not every day. And I do remember saying to her, she's like, let's talk about your loss and what this means and getting it out on the table and kind of what people do to deal with loss, all the things that an educated person would guide you through. And I said, you know what? I really feel like this solution's doable. I feel like it's a physical thing and there's clearly people and resources to help, but I don't know how to get my kids back. I don't know what to do about my youngest daughter in particular.
Oh God, that's going to make me cry.
And she was
because she was just so rattled by everything and didn't look at you quite the same way.
Yes. And this was a little girl. I mean, she's young for her class. So even in 2nd grade, she was still little. And she was one of those kids, probably being number 4 and being dragged to everything that her older siblings were doing. And we would be at sports events and she'd be under my legs all the time.
That's how my fifth was. I think there's just something. She was like, we used to laugh. She was attached at the hip, if not at the leg.
Yes. I have a couple friends. One of my best husband friends was like, well, we always know where to find Kristin if we see Chloe, or where to find Chloe if we see Kristin.
Aww.
She's like your little shadow. And the other funny story is like Chloe, she was always so attached that one time she was holding on to my jeans and I must have walked away to give Ryan his water bottle or something. We're at his game. And she was so panicked that my legs walked away that she grabbed jeans and it was another mother's jeans. And she still talks about how she was so happy to have my jeans back. And she looks up and she realizes she doesn't know whose jeans they are. But that's just how attached, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, it happens.
So seeing her little face and knowing what she had to go through, everybody went through something. I don't take that away from anybody, but when you're that young and
so hard,
you probably, or you do know that something's happening, but you don't know how to put words to it. And God bless the older people around you. They're trying to protect you and only tell you as much as you need to know.
Right.
Isn't that what they say about little kids? So yeah, I really just wanted to get that relationship back.
Oh,
yeah.
And how long did that take?
Pretty quickly. Kids are resilient.
Yeah, they really are.
And then what my kids started doing to me, which God love them for this because I asked them to. I was like, I've got this. Don't let me have excuses. Make me wear my leg and make me take hikes. And so if I were to slow down or take a hiatus like I am right now from my leg, they'd be like, Mom, you said no excuses. Come on, let's go. Or if I'd be like, I have to look up that restaurant, the stairs, I don't know. Or New York City, oh my gosh, they're all grandfathered in. They all have like bathrooms upstairs or downstairs and they're crooked little narrow stairways. Mom, come on, you can do this. It's just one step at a time. So that's where...
Yeah, that's the
you
beauty
have to have
of
your cheerleaders, even if
my gosh, 100%. And they didn't even, because the naive and the innocent made them just completely be able to say to you, come on, Mom, you've got this. You said you've got this. There's no excuses.
That's right.
Let's go. That's a gift.
That's right.
Okay, so I have goosebumps, but we will have one more episode that will talk a little bit about your real comeback. Like the setback to the comeback.
I love that.
We know that there are literally a million podcasts out there, and so many of them are so, so good. We'd love for you to tell your friends, family, and all the women in your life to join us in finding fabulous and lighting it up.
Yes, share your stories with us by DMing and following us on Instagram, TikTok, and all your social media at Finding Fabulous Pod. And please subscribe, like, and share wherever you get your podcasts.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.